Max Yuan T20. Things to do in Togo. If you're looking for a travel destination that hasn't been ruined by thousands of tourists and selfie sticks, you might want to look at a map of West Africa and find a tiny, thin strip of land called Togo. Most people can't even point to it on a map, but that is exactly why you need to go there before everyone else figures out what they're missing. Togo is often called the Pearl of West Africa, and it's not hard to see why once you get there. It's a small country, shaped a bit like a finger, squeezed right between Ghana and Benin. But don't let the size fool you. In this one little country, you've got tropical beaches, high mountains, thick forests, and some of the most unique culture you will ever see in your life. We are talking about places where people still live in mud castles, and markets where you can buy things that look like they belong in a movie. If you want a trip that feels like a real adventure and not just a vacation, this is the place. I've put together a list of the 20 best things to do in this hidden gem, so you can plan a trip that you will actually remember forever. Soccer. Getting lost in the Grand Marché of Lomé. The first place you have to go when you land in the capital city, Lomé, is the Grand Marché. Now, this isn't your typical shopping mall. This is a massive 3-story explosion of colors, smells, and sounds. It's chaotic, it's loud, and it's wonderful. You'll see women walking around with giant baskets balanced perfectly on their heads and motorbikes weaving through the crowds. The most famous people here are the Nanabens. These are the powerful women who run the textile trade. They are called that because they made so much money selling beautiful wax print fabrics that they were the first ones in the country to buy Mercedes-Benz cars. If you want to buy some high-quality, colorful African fabric to take home, this is the spot. Just be prepared to haggle a bit, because that's all part of the fun. The Akodesewa Fetish Market is known as the largest voodoo market in the entire world. When you walk in, you'll see tables piled high with things like crocodile heads, monkey skulls, and dried birds. It might look spooky, but it's actually a place for healing. In the local culture, voodoo isn't about Hollywood movies or scary dolls. It's a traditional religion. People come here to see a priest when they are sick or have a problem. The priest uses the items at the market to make traditional medicine. It's a huge part of the local identity, and even if you don't buy anything, just walking through and talking to the vendors is an experience you won't get anywhere else. It's located inside the Palais de Congrès, and it's packed with history. You'll see ancient pottery, traditional musical instruments, and carvings that tell the story of the many different ethnic groups that live here. It gives you a great background on how the country grew from different kingdoms into the modern nation it is today. It's a quiet break from the heat and noise of the city streets, and it helps you appreciate the things you'll see as you travel further north. It's a massive concrete structure that shows a human figure breaking free from a block of stone. This represents Togo gaining its freedom from France back in 1960. It's surrounded by beautiful gardens and fountains, and it's a very important symbol for the local people. It's a great place to snap a photo and reflect on the history of the country. Plus, the area around it is usually pretty peaceful, making it a good spot to catch your breath after exploring the busy markets. Soir, admiring the Cathedral of the Sacred Heart. Togo has a very interesting mix of cultures, and you can really see that in the architecture of the Cathedral of the Sacred Heart. It was built by the Germans over 100 years ago when Togo was a German colony. It looks like a classic European Gothic church, but it's sitting right in the middle of a tropical African city. The bright red and white colors of the building really pop against the blue sky. It's a very calm place to sit for a few minutes and admire the stained glass windows. It shows just how many different layers of history are piled on top of each other in Lomé. Chowterners relaxing on the Lomé beachfront after a long day of walking through the city, there is nothing better than heading down to the coast. The Lomé beachfront is lined with tall palm trees and golden sand. You'll see kids playing soccer, fishermen pulling in their nets, and people just hanging out to watch the sunset. The Atlantic Ocean here can be a bit rough, so you have to be careful if you decide to swim. But sitting at one of the little beach bars with a cold drink is the perfect way to end the day. The breeze coming off the water feels amazing after the humidity of the city. Floating across Lake Togo, if you head a bit east from the capital, you'll find Lake Togo. This is a very calm, shallow lake that is perfect for a boat ride. You can hire a local guide to take you out in a pirogue, which is a traditional wooden canoe carved out of a single tree trunk. As you glide across the water, you'll see birds flying low and local fishermen working. It's incredibly peaceful. The lake is a big part of the local life, and being out on the water gives you a totally different perspective of the landscape than you get from the road. Step back in time in Togoville. Across Lake Togo sits the historic village of Togoville. This is actually where the country got its name. Back in 1884, a local leader signed a treaty with a German explorer here, which turned the area into a protectorate. But Togoville is more than just a place on a history map. It's the spiritual center of the region. You can walk through the narrow dirt paths and see voodoo shrines right next to colonial-style buildings. There is a very famous church here, the Cathedral of Our Lady of Lake Togo, which was built after people claimed to see the Virgin Mary on the lake. It's a place where two different worlds and two different religions live side by side in total peace. Facing the dark history of Agbodrafo, not far from the lake is the town of Agbodrafo. This place holds a much heavier history. There is a building there called the Maison des Esclaves, or the House of Slaves. During the time of the slave trade, people were kept in a tiny, cramped space under the floorboards of this house before being shipped across the ocean. It is a very emotional and difficult place to visit, but it is an important part of human history that shouldn't be ignored. Seeing the actual space where people were held really brings the reality of the past to life in a way a textbook never could. Daar, watching the river meet the sea in Anejo. If you keep going east toward the border of Benin, you'll hit Anejo. This town was actually the capital of Togo twice in the past. It's a beautiful place where a river flows right into the Atlantic Ocean. You can stand on the bridge and see the blue ocean water mixing with the darker river water. The town feels very old and has a lot of colonial houses that are starting to crumble, which gives it a very cool, moody atmosphere. It's a great place to wander around, talk to the locals, and maybe grab some fresh grilled fish from a street vendor. Drivers, hiking the peak of Mount Agou. Now, if you like nature, you need to head inland to the Kpalimé region. This is the greenest part of the country. The biggest challenge here is hiking Mount Agou. It is the highest point in Togo. It's not a super difficult climb, but it will definitely get your heart racing. The path takes you through little villages and thick forests. When you get to the top, you can see for miles. On a clear day, you can even see across the border into Ghana. The air up there is cooler and fresher than anywhere else in the country, and the view of the green valleys below is absolutely worth the sweat. Cooling off at Cascade de Kpalimé. After your hike, you're going to be hot, and the best place to fix, that is the Cascade de Kpalimé. This is a beautiful waterfall hidden in the woods near Kpalimé. The water falls down a series of rocky steps into a pool where you can splash around. It's surrounded by cocoa and coffee trees, and the sound of the water falling is so relaxing. It's a popular spot for locals to hang out on the weekends, so if you go during the week, you might even have the whole place to yourself. Tray. Walking with butterflies, Kpalimé is famous for its insects, specifically its butterflies. You can go on guided walks through the forest, where a local expert will show you hundreds of different species. Some of them are huge and have colors so bright they don't even look real. It's a great way to learn about the local environment and see parts of the jungle you might miss if you were just walking by yourself. The guides are usually very knowledgeable about the plants too, showing you which leaves can be used for medicine and which ones you should probably stay away from. Xia, visiting local artisan workshops. The area around Kpalimé is also the artistic heart of Togo. There are many workshops where you can watch people work. You can see weavers making traditional cloth, woodcarvers turning logs into beautiful statues, and potters shaping clay by hand. The best part is that these aren't just for show. These are real businesses. You can talk to the artists, learn about their techniques, and buy something directly from the person who made it. It's a great way to make sure your money is going directly to the local community. Seeing where coffee and cocoa come from. Most of us drink coffee or eat chocolate every day, but have you ever seen where it starts? The hills around Kpalimé are covered in coffee and cocoa plantations. You can take a tour of a farm and see the red coffee berries and the giant cocoa pods hanging from the trees. The farmers will show you how they harvest the pods, ferment the beans, and dry them in the sun. It's a lot of hard work, and seeing it in person makes you appreciate that morning cup of coffee a whole lot more. Plus, the smell of drying cocoa beans in the sun is one of the best smells in the world. The mystery of the Tambarma Valley. As you travel further north, the landscape changes from green forests to dry, open savanna. This is where you find the Kpalimé region, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This place is famous for the takinta, which are mud tower houses built by the Batammariba people. These houses look like tiny, hand-built castles. They have 2 floors, rounded towers, and thatched roofs. They were originally designed this way to protect the families from enemies and wild animals. Entering one of these homes is like stepping into another century. The way they are built using only mud, straw, and wood is a masterpiece of traditional engineering. Engaging with Batammariba culture. The people who live in these mud castles have a very rich culture that hasn't changed much in hundreds of years. When you visit, you aren't just looking at buildings. You are meeting a community. They are very proud of their traditions. You might see traditional scars on people's faces, which are signs of their identity and coming-of-age rituals. They are incredibly welcoming, and if you have a local guide to help translate, you can learn so much about their belief systems and how they manage to live so successfully in such a dry, harsh environment. Searching for wildlife in Fazao-Malfakassa. Togo's largest national park is Fazao-Malfakassa. It's a rugged area with mountains and thick forests. While it's not like the big safari parks in East Africa where you see lions every 5 minutes, it is a great place for people who love real wilderness. If you're lucky, you might spot elephants, monkeys, and hundreds of different kinds of birds. The park is very quiet, and you won't see many other tourists. It feels like you are exploring a part of the world that hasn't been touched yet. Grisyer, marveling at the fault of Alejo. As you drive north, you'll encounter one of the coolest geological features in the country, the Fault of Alejo. The highway literally cuts right through a giant mountain. It's a narrow gap with towering rock walls on both sides. It was created back in the colonial days so that vehicles could pass through the mountain range instead of going all the way around. Driving through it feels like you're going through a giant stone gateway. It's a popular spot for a quick photo stop because the scale of the cliffs is just massive. Sichu, the intensity of the Sokode fire dance. If you are in the city of Sokode at the right time, you might get to witness the fire dance of the Tem people. This is the climax of any trip to northern Togo. In the middle of the night, dancers gather around a huge bonfire. To the beat of loud, hypnotic drums, they begin to dance. But then, they do something that seems impossible. They pick up burning embers with their bare hands, or even walk through the fire without getting burned. They say it is done through spiritual protection. Whether you believe in the magic or not, watching it in person is intense and will leave you absolutely speechless. First, learning from the blacksmiths of Paya. Near the town of Kara, you can visit the Paya blacksmiths. These men still use ancient techniques to turn scrap metal into tools like hoes, knives, and spears. They use giant stones as hammers and open fires to heat the metal. It's loud, hot, and physical work. Watching them transform a piece of old iron into a sharp tool using only their strength and tradition is fascinating. It's a reminder of how much skill exists in these traditional trades that have been passed down from father to son for generations. Trying the local staple. Fufu. You cannot leave Togo without eating fufu. This is the national dish. It's made by boiling yams and then pounding them in a giant wooden mortar with a big stick until they become a smooth, stretchy dough. It is a real workout to make, and you can often hear the thump-thump of the pounding. coming from houses as you walk down the street. It's usually served with a spicy soup or sauce made with fish, goat, or beef. You eat it with your hands, tearing off a piece of the dough and using it to scoop up the sauce. It's heavy, filling, and delicious. Cheerio, sampling street food secrets. Beyond the big meals, Togo has amazing street food. You have to try akara, which are deep-fried bean cakes that are crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside. They are the perfect snack. You'll also find grilled corn, spicy skewers of meat called brochettes, and fried plantains. The best way to eat in Togo is to just follow your nose. If you see a crowd of locals standing around a woman with a large pot, go see what she's selling. It's almost guaranteed to be good, cheap, and fresh. Chakr, experiencing the energy of Lomé nightlife. Finally, you have to experience the nightlife. West Africa is famous for its music, and Togo is no different. In the bars of Lomé, you'll hear highlife music, which is a mix of traditional rhythms and modern instruments. People here love to dance, and the energy is infectious. Even if you think you have no rhythm, you'll find yourself tapping your feet. The bars are usually open air, the beer is cold, and the conversation is loud. It's the perfect way to see the modern, fun-loving side of the Togolese people. Togo might be small, but it has a huge heart. From the intense energy of the fire dancers to the quiet peace of Lake Togo, it's a place that changes you. The people are some of the most welcoming you will ever meet, always ready with a smile and a bon arrivé. If you're tired of the usual tourist traps and want something real, Togo is waiting for you. Check our video descriptions for the best deals in hotels and accommodation, flights, attractions and tours, travel eSIMs and insurance, transfers and airport services, trains and buses, car and bike rentals, cruises, package tours.